Hey guys, and welcome back for another Marvel Contest of Champions video. Okay, today's video is going to be mainly directed more at new, beginner, novice players. There will be a few bits and pieces that that the older players can maybe take from this. So please have a listen. You might learn something, you might change your opinion on something, but it's mainly going to be tips uh, and just any little bits and pieces of information that I can maybe pass on that will maybe help you, enjoy or make more of your Marvel Contest of Champions experience. Okay, these aren't in any particular order. Uh, it's just my opinion. You might agree with them, you might not agree with them, um, but just have a listen and just see if you can take anything from this. Um, so, first thing is don't spend money on crystals. Don't spend your units on crystals. That's all I would say. Um, the most important thing I would say is with this is as a new, upstart player, uh, never spend money on the premium hero crystal. Don't use your units for this. I mean, it's appealing. You don't really know what you're doing when you first starting out. You think, wow, I've got a chance of getting a 4-star champion when I've only had, like 1-star Spider-Man or 2-star Wolverine or whatever, and I can get a 4-star character right away. Well, again, if you're not too new with this, then look at these drop rates. I mean, those aren't good odds. I mean, sometimes I've opened 100 of these and only got one or none, no 4 stars. So, be aware of this, guys. You're going to probably get either a 2, maybe a 3-star on these. And they're absolutely just units suck. So don't spend money on those. When it comes to other crystals, then in my opinion, you do have luck on these. I've bought these myself in the past. Um, I'm getting a little bit better with it now to where I can think, oh, hold on, those aren't the best. That isn't the best use of my units. Um, but previously, once I got a few units, showing on that screen, it was like when I was, 8 years old and I had $5 in my pocket and it was just burning a hole in it. I had to go out and buy a new GI Joe or Transformer or whatever it was, and that's how it was with this game. It was, I've got 1,000 units. Well, I can buy a few Grandmaster crystals or I can buy some Cavalier crystals. So the Grandmaster crystals, in my opinion, still aren't very. I remember when they came out, everyone was amazed by them. But now that the Cavaliers are out and they've improved the drop rates of the Cavaliers, those are by far better. So I definitely wouldn't spend any money on on Grandmaster crystals. Cavalier crystals, personally, I still wouldn't. Um, but if you do, then they do have slightly better drop rates. So again, you've got an 81% chance of getting a 3 or 4-star. I know, if you're Cavalier, it's 200. If you're Thronebreaker, it's 175 units. That is a lot of units to spend for a 3 or 4-star champ when you're at this level of the game. If you're Cavalier, 4 stars are no good for you. I mean, you're doing Act 6 and above, you can't even use 4 stars in Act 6. And why would you really want to, except for some synergy purposes? But, um, you know, it's just a bad use of units, in my opinion. I know a lot of people spend a lot of money on these and get very lucky, but you can only do, just watch someone like Seaton's video, or even if you were playing the game a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and you watch some of, say, Chris Lowton and Wales videos, and he was having to spend, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get a 5 and a 6-star uh, of these new champs. So again, guys, if you've got a few units burning a hole in your pocket and you want to spend some money, who am I to tell you not to? It's all about having fun, but game progression wise, it's probably not the best idea. The next thing I will say is beware of where you take advice from in the game. Make sure that the person to the best of your ability, has your best intentions at heart, and at least has some idea of what they're talking about. Without being rude, some people are a bit ignorant when it comes to certain things like this. They might think they know, but they don't really know. I'll be the first to hold my hands up and say, I don't know, a half of what there is to know about this game, and I've been playing it for a long time. There's tons and tons and tons of things I don't know about individual champs. I may have never had that champ, or if I have had that champ, I may have never ranked them up. I may have never played them. So, one thing I would say you definitely want to stay away from is the global chat. In my opinion, that is absolute trash. That's garbage. Um, most of those people on there are just on there, just having a bit bored, maybe having a mess about. I don't know. Um, Trying to give people bad advice because they're getting off on that sort of thing, or um, just idiots. I don't really know, but it's not. I'm not a fan of the global chat. I would ask, your alliance friends, your alliance mates in the game, because they're definitely going to have your best interest at heart. Whether they know what they're talking about is another story, but they're at least going to have your best interest at heart because they want you to do well too, because that benefits them. Maybe ask, a YouTuber. I mean, you could ask me. If I know, I'll tell you. Um, I'll at least give you my opinion. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. There are other YouTubers, more established YouTubers that have been doing this for years. I know I've messaged people like Prof Hoff before, and he's gotten back to me. And it's people like Seaton or Legacy or some of these KT1, some of the other massive YouTubers. Whether they'll get back to you or not is another story. That's the issue with that. But um, again, just be careful where you take your advice from. The next tip I'll say is kind of linked to that as well. Is put tier lists, with a bit of a pinch of salt. When it comes to tier lists, they're great, but they're someone's opinion. So the most famous ones everyone knows is Seaton's. There's other YouTubers that are starting to put tier lists out. I know KT1's just recently started putting one out, and I think Legacy's had one out for a few months now as well. But that is just their opinion, and I'm sure they would be the first to tell you that if they put, I'm not sure who could be a good example. Someone like Ronan, like middle tier, so just a decent champ. If you really like using Ronan, and you're able to use him to the best of his abilities and the best of your abilities, um, and you really want to rank him up, then by all means rank him up. Don't look at that tier list and be like, oh, he's only a decent champ. Ghost is way better. So I need to rank up Ghost instead of ranking up Ronan. Well, she is a better champ, but if you're like me and you can't use her very, very well to the best of your ability, the best of the champion itself will work, get the most out of those mechanics and things like that, then it's pointless. You might as well use that Ronin that you enjoy, that you can get the most out of. You're going to get more out of that than you will out of that other champion. So use them with a pinch of salt. Try all the champions. Every champion you get, give them a go. See if you enjoy using them, and see if you can get, a lot out of those champions. So don't just cast someone off that you pull that someone says they're not very good. Well, you might really enjoy them. You might have the synergy to make that champion really good that maybe they don't have. Just have a think about that. The next one is kind of like stay grounded. Be willing to take people's advice, or at least listen to people's advice. So if someone in your alliance or a tutorial saying, this champ can do this, this, and this, and you're best off using this champ. Don't just be like, well, I know best, and that champion works best with this one, or that champ's crap. I'm not bothering with that. Just have a bit of an open mind, when it comes to, taking people's advice, because a lot of them will hopefully have your best interest at heart. Whether they're right or not, that's in the story, but just try to listen and take on board their information that they're trying to give you, and then go from there. Another one would be find a good alliance. It's a bit of a vague thing when I say find a good alliance, but find an alliance that's best suited for your needs at the point you're at in the game. So don't um, don't automatically think, since you've gotten Uncollected, that you need to be trying to do Alliance Quest Map 7, because you can see all the rewards that the big YouTubers or whatever are getting an open, and you think, wow, that looks amazing. Well, yeah, it is amazing, but are you aware of all the time that it takes to put in, to get those Map 7s, Map 6s, or whatever done? The champs that you're required to have, um, the resources spent, to buy your way into those maps, and just the champs you need, the difficulty. I mean, it's not easy. Those players that play, say, Map 6 or Map 7 have been doing it for a long while. Even Map 5, if you only just finished Map 2 or whatever, those are big jumps. You need to work your way up and just relax and take your time. So find the alliance that fits your needs. I mean, if you hate doing alliance war, don't join an alliance that does alliance war. I mean, if you want to find an alliance that does, a little bit of alliance war, or then just find one that does, alliance war, one battle group. So you think, I could do it 3 or 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, whatever, a season. I don't really want to do it any more than that. Then just join one of those. You can do a little bit. You can get some rewards, so you can still get a little bit of something for doing it, and just enjoy the game a bit more. Maybe find an Alliance Quest only focused alliance. There's a lot of those out there, guys. So if you hate Alliance War and you don't want to do it, then find an alliance that's based, Alliance Quest only, no Alliance War. But just make sure you don't bite off more than you can chew. So I'm trying to say a little bit with that. Some of the other bits and pieces, masteries, I would try to open those as soon as you possibly can. Get the advantages and benefits of those masteries as soon as you possibly can. So, use your units for buying, the cores, the green cores that are, I think they're about 150 units a piece, or the carbonadium cores, I think they're about 650 units or something a piece. I mean, that's expensive, guys. And you need a lot of them. I know when I opened the Suicide Masteries up, it cost me about 6,000 units or something. So I had to grind a long time to be able to open those up. But previous to that, I spent a lot of units on crystals over the years that I could have opened things up like deep wounds, assassins and things like that, that would have benefited me massively. But instead I was going for, whatever champion was at the time, and wasted 2,000 units where I could have opened up, deep wounds or whatever. So make masteries your initial push with your units. That will benefit you from then on. So as soon as you get that done, as soon as you get masteries open, that will just benefit you from that point. So don't put masteries off. Next tip is use arenas for gold units, battle chips, which you can in turn open up for more units. Some people love arenas, some people hate arenas. I'm kind of in the middle, probably dislike it more than I like it, but I have to admit it's the best place to stack up your gold, stack up your units and battle chips, and the easiest and fastest way to make more units. So whether you love it or hate it, you're probably best off to do it at least a little bit to try to get more units. Another tip, don't leave your energy full. So as soon as you get on in the game, you think, the first thing in the morning or whatever, you're having breakfast, about to go to work, whatever you're doing, going to school, you think, I don't have time. I don't have time. Won't have time till 10 o'clock today or whatever the time would be to get on the game for a few minutes. Well, that's, 3, 4, 5 hours where your energy is going to be setting on max. That is no good. I mean, if you're having to get on and play your Alliance Quest, play your Alliance War moves really quickly in the morning, well, why not just go into something? Why not just go into something like I don't know. Let's have a quick look here. Daily Catalyst, daily class. Let's have a look what it's called. That's not the right one. The daily quests. Go into one of these and just do it on automatic. I mean, everyone always needs these things. You can get the mutant ones, you can get the regular, the basic ones, you know, whatever. Just go in there, use 20 energy and just 30 energy, whatever it is. Automatically complete that and get those rewards. At least that's something for your energy. And then by the time you get ready to go back on later, your energy's full again. So for that 20 or 30 energy, you've not noticed it's gone because you haven't needed it. At least you've got something to show for it. I know it's not a lot, but it's something. Um, Something else you could do is go into, I don't know, let's say you want to do this, the normal on the monthly quest, since that's the lowest. Now I used to do beginner. I've not even done this all myself. Just go into this, put some of your best champs in, begin quest, and just put it on autoplay. I mean, that's a new setting and it's amazing. Um, Autoplay, come back to it in 5 minutes. Guess what? Path's done. 5 to 10 units in the bank. And you haven't had to do anything on the game to do it. It's really good and really easy. Next thing I would say is don't rush your rank ups. I mean, I've got champs, guys, that I regret ranking up, mainly because that might have been the only, I'd say, good to medium champion I had at the time, mainly early doors, where I thought, oh, that's the only champion I've got, you know, and I've got these rank up materials burning a hole in my pocket. This champ will help me progress. I've ranked them up, and then guess what? 2 weeks later, I've opened another crystal, and guess what? I've got a champion that would have helped me considerably more than the champion I just ranked up. And then you rank them up eventually, and you never use the other one anymore, or very rarely. So what I'll say is will they be helpful for content that you're doing at that time, content in the future, or more than one piece of content? I've talked about this in previous videos about, you know, what champs will help you in multiple pieces of content. So you want to look at those champs as someone you'll maybe automatically take up if you get them. Not just that, because guess what? I've seen them on a tier list, and I've got Quake at rank 4, 5-star, and guess what? I never use her. Never ever use her. There's other champs that I very rarely use that I've taken up previously. Don't know if I regret doing them, but I probably would have chosen someone else if I could redo it. So that's one of the last ones, is don't rush your rank ups, guys. Just really think about what will help you in multiple pieces of content or future pieces of content that you wouldn't be disappointed in taking up. The last one, do your monthly content before permanent content. So what I mean is just go and make sure that you've done your highest possible the difficulty in the monthly quests, the monthly side quests, if there is any, before you start doing story or variants and things like that. Story, variants, and all that will always be there. That will be there from now until whenever you stop playing the game or whatever. It's the monthly stuff. You've only got 30 days, you know, what, 3 or 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, depending on how the weeks fall, to get that done, to get that completed, to get those rewards. So what I would say is, if you can do Cavalier, or if you can do Uncollected, or if you can do Heroic, or whatever, get that done as soon as it goes live within the first couple of weeks. Then I would do some of the lower difficulties. And if you're happy with how you are with getting those done, then that last week or whatever, go and trying to tackle variant 3 or 4 or whatever it might be, or some story. You know, I'm trying to 100% Act 5, or trying to complete Act 6. So I can try to get Thronebreaker or whatever it is. But try to get the story. Try to leave the story and the permanent stuff to last. Get that monthly stuff done first. And the last thing, guys, is probably the most important at all, is have fun. I mean, I've had times with this game where I've thought just burn out on it, and it's almost turned into more of a chore than a game. Um, but just have fun, enjoy yourself. If you're doing something that's not fun, or if it's becoming not fun, then you need to look at it and say, why is this not becoming fun? Am I getting sick of arenas? Well, take a step back. Don't do arenas for a few weeks, or do less. Am I not enjoying Alliance War? Well, come out, change alliances if you have to, and go into an alliance that doesn't do Alliance War. So keep the game fun. That's by far the most important. Um, but anyway, guys, I hope this has been helpful, especially for more newer players. And if it has, then hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Thanks.